All right. Hey, everyone. So, looks like it's just going to be us for right now. So y'all can look at the recording later. That's what the recording function's for. We're going to teach you real quick how to do some very basic calligraphy. You ready?
I am ready.
Perfect. Here's a practice sheet for you. Okay. Now, I'm going to teach you how to hold the brush real quick. So, grab it in your non-dominant hand for a second. Okay. Hold it like this. Now, take your dominant hand, place your thumb right here, right along the middle of the stem. Okay. Now, pinch it between your thumb and your middle finger. Okay. And then you can curl the rest of your fingers around the bottom. Okay.
Like so?
Yeah, pretty much. Lift your index finger up a little bit further. There you go. Okay. And just hold it kind of loosely for a moment. All right. Can you roll it back and forth between your fingers a little bit? Good. Okay. Now, if you need to, you can stabilize it with your pinky around it like that. That helps a little bit. Because when we're doing calligraphy, we're going to be going like this primarily. Okay. We're going to be using our wrist mostly. It's a little painful at first, especially if you have carpal tunnel. Don't clench your fingers so hard, okay? Relax. There we go. You just want to hold it like this, okay? Gently.
Get it more like claw and then.
Yeah, a little bit more clawed. Curl your fingers around it to give you some stability. And just keep it nice and relaxed.
Okay.
Your thumb should not be white. There you go. There you go. Your thumb's not holding it. Your thumb's just like resting against it to help guide the brush. I know. You can put your arm down. It's okay. Yeah. All right. So now we're gonna get our brushes wet.
Okay.
Now be careful you don't separate the tip bristles too much. Okay. And then gently wipe off a lot of the excess. Okay. And remember, you want to try and keep your tip as straight as possible. Like right now, not super straight. Okay. There you go. And with practice, you'll be able to keep it straight from just the water and brushing it off. Okay. Now, if you feel like your brush is still a little too wet, and it might be.
What's too wet?
If you see like beads of water on your finger as opposed to like a little bit, then you're fine. Yeah. If it's still too wet, you can just run it along your mat like this. Just enough to get the excess moisture off. There you go. Now, your tip should still be nice and pointed, and your brush should be nice and rounded. Okay?
Okay.
Hey, good. You're holding it nicely. Now you dip just a little bit onto the tip of your brush. You don't need a lot, because we're just going to be practicing a little bit first. Okay? Yeah. All right. Now, just to get a feel for it, try making a line.
Just any kind of line or?
Any kind of line, just a regular line. Okay, not bad. All right. Can you do a line up and down? Okay. Now, the trick when we're doing this is to try and make your line as straight and as even as possible.
Okay.
Okay. So I have an especially hard time with my top to bottom lines. I always make it a little too squiggly. That comes with practice. Okay. Basically, yes.
Okay.
So like that little squiggle there, That's because you're not using your muscles enough to help keep it as straight as possible. It's so hard in the beginning, so don't fret about that. If you get a little squiggle, it's not a big deal. You're still learning.
Okay.
All right. So now I'm gonna get my brush tip straight. Remember, you want to try and keep your tip as straight as possible. So now we're going to learn about some other things real quick.
Okay.
Okay. The next step is we're going to try and make a circle. It's hard. Okay. Now, the reason this is hard is because when you make a circle like this, notice how the thickness varies,
Yeah.
right? And you've got kind of a weird little joint, yeah, and you get some bristly marks right here. And then if you look at your brush tip, now it's
like
twisted, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it shouldn't look like that.
Okay.
Now, how do we stop that? You ready? Fix my brush real quick. And you can just fix your brush in the ink or in the water. It's up to you. If you use ink, it's going to have a thicker, richer line. If you use water, it's going to be a little bit more gray. So to stop that from happening, we have to, got a little bit too much ink. That's okay. You just blot it. You have to twist your brush in your fingers. Okay, that's what your thumb is going to be there for, to help twist.
Oh God.
Twist. I don't know. That's rough.
Are you trying to do a full 360 or just side to, back side to side?
You're going to be eventually doing a full 360. So you twist, pause, twist.
So a circle isn't a smooth motion. It's
Nope.
okay.
I mean, to be fair, you're never making a full circle in Chinese characters unless you're doing a certain type of calligraphy.
Okay.
But it helps with making some of the motions.
Okay. So
Okay, so instead, we're going to slow and steady. And don't be afraid to press down. Your bristles should actually be hitting the page. And you can get more ink on your brush if you need to. Now, I'm not good at drawing circles regularly, so. And then gently lift up at the end. See how it's a much thicker line?
yes.
Now, mine's not smooth because we're going slow. It's a little bit harder to make the joints. So let's try going a little bit faster. Get more ink on your brush, please. There you go. You can dip, I would say dip about half your brush in. So a little bit more than that. There you go. And then really drag it along the edge because you want to get as much of that excess ink off as possible. Don't worry about it getting in the water. The water's going to get yucky anyway. Perfect. So now we can go a little bit faster. Again, you want to use about 30% of your brush when you're doing this. Right now you're using about 5.
Oh, here?
Yeah. So press down more. There you go. Get a nice thick line.
Huh.
That's much better, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you use
I was trying to be a bit too delicate, I think.
yeah, you don't need to be that delicate. Not unless you're using a specific style. So right now you're practicing. Be heavy-handed. It's okay. Make it nice and thick.
Okay.
All right. So we've got some circles down. I'm going to give you a new piece of paper. All right. I'm going to do some spirals. This is my favorite. It's like a circle, but more. Okay. It's going to be rough. Don't feel bad. And yes, your hand's going to cramp a little bit at first because when you first start doing it, your muscles aren't used to that hand position, for one. And for two, you usually end up, holding it too tightly. That's why I say keep it loose. Relax it, When you get better, eventually the muscles build up in your forearm and your biceps and your triceps and everything. And eventually you'll be doing it like this with your arm fully up and everything. It's a little painful at first. When I first started, I rested my arm on the table. That's okay.
Okay.
You can use that. It's a little bit easier at first, but it's harder to control the brush if your arm is against the table. So you get more strength, less precision.
Okay.
See? All right, so we'll take our brush. I'm going to start from the middle, okay? And we're going to slowly spiral outward. Again, remembering to twist the brush. And try to keep your line as steady as possible. Unlike me, I love doing spirals, but I'm very bad at them.
Is this the way you were taught?
Yes, actually, this was my very first class. I'm doing it as close to word for word as possible, actually, because, it was taught in Chinese.
I don't think it's that as easily.
No, I had a translator, which helped. The school actually paid for a translator to help me out, which is very nice. And you'll notice how much ink is still on your brush. Look at that. Look at how far we've gone. And we still have a ton of ink in our brush. It's still going. And that shows you how much ink can be used for a whole character, whole sentences, even. And there are different styles of calligraphy, wet brush versus dry brush, and the different kinds of inks you can use. I've got some gold ink here that we might use later. But yeah, you're doing great, actually. It's pretty smooth. You want to try and get your brush up a little bit more vertical. There you go. Because you want to try and keep your brush as vertical as possible. You're only really supposed to be using the bristles. And you just keep going until, you run out of space, basically. Or you run out of ink. Also possible. But notice as you get towards the end of your ink,
It's getting frayed almost.
well, you're twisting your brush too much is the problem. Only twist it enough so that you don't get bristles splaying out as you go. See? Your brush should stay straight.
Ooh.
Yes? Yeah, take a break. That's okay. So here's the difference between wet brush calligraphy and dry brush calligraphy.
Okay. I think I'm seeing a little of that in my
You are, yeah, right over here. Actually, it's pretty decent over here. So when you're twisting your brush, you want your brush to stay straight along the line.
Okay.
Okay. So
I think I've been worried about putting too much force on these things.
yeah, you've been twisting like this.
Yeah.
Which is, it's fine, but you want to try and just keep it as straight as possible. It's a very gentle curve.
Okay.
Okay. But you did really great for your first time. That's a pretty decent spiral.
Thank you.
You ought to be proud of that. All right. So now that we've got our spirals, they look lovely. Let's show off this bad boy. Look at that. Gorgeous.
Not quite Junji Ito, but
Look, ain't nobody's gonna be no Junji Ito up here, okay? That was the most American I've ever spoken in my life. So sorry. So sorry you had to witness that. Here, I'll toss that to the side. Okay. Yeah, like I said, the water gets nasty. I'm trying to get some of that excess water off. And we're gonna make a mess, it's okay.
okay.
Don't feel bad. It's all water soluble, so. Yeah. Yeah, just a quick dip. You don't need to wash it in the ink. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to teach you some basic stuff. Okay. Basic strokes. Now, the character that we're going to be doing today is called Fu. Yes. So FuZi is the technical term for what this character is. Yeah, I'm just getting some extra ink off of my brush because it's a little full. Okay. So a standard Fu character is I don't need you copying just yet. Just watch. Okay. So this is a standard FuZi.
Okay.
Okay. So that everybody else can see. This is the character we're doing today. Okay. Now, I'm not going to have you write it like that.
Okay.
Because that's a lot of steps. It's very difficult to do. What I'm going to have you do instead is I'm going to teach you how to write it as if this was a cave drawing.
Okay.
Okay. Cave drawings are much simpler in Chinese calligraphy because in regular Chinese calligraphy, each stroke is made up of multiple motions. It's not a single fluid motion. It is multiple fluid motions. So for instance, this one right here, this is called a diar or a dot, okay? For a dot, instead of just going like this, which makes a weird little triangle, you instead, let me get my bristles straight, you instead go up, turn around, press down, twist your brush, come back up.
Huh.
And it creates a more rounded look. And I add the little flick because I like a semi-cursive. So you don't need the flick. You can do without the flick. In fact, they prefer you don't. I like it. I think it's pretty. But it depends on the style you're doing. So instead of doing that, okay, I'm going to teach you something really easy. You ready?
Yeah.
We're going to make a line by doing this. Okay. Remember how I taught you how to turn your brush? Okay. You're gonna press down in the opposite direction, and then twist your brush all the way around 360
Make a circle.
to make a little circle. Then continue it into a line. And then lift up a little bit, twist it all the way around, and come back
So
to make rounded edges, okay? So lift up a little bit. You don't want it to be too heavy. Okay. So when you're doing that first part,
yes.
you want to use just like the tip of your brush.
Okay.
Okay. You're just rounding it off. And then you can press down for your line.
All right. So let me.
And then lift up. So you're just using the tip, round it off. Okay.
So.
Because you want to try and make it as fluid as possible. Yeah, just the tip. Good. Better. Better, much better. Okay. We're gonna fix our bristles real quick because, yeah. So remember, just the tip. Round it off. Then press down. We don't want any extra bits. Tip, come back.
You saw nothing.
My teacher would smack your hand for that. We never retrace over our line. Never. It's like the epitome of taboo. Yeah, I kid you not, I got yelled at so much for it. So much. For like the first 10 classes, she's like, stop tracing. I'm like, what? What did I do? You told me to do this. And she's like, no, I told you not to trace it. I was like, but you told me to come back on the line. She's like, yes, come back a little. Don't trace the whole line. So yeah, my teacher was a little bit of a stickler for the rules.
If you're learning traditional arts, that helps.
Absolutely. And I mean, for some reason, they really thought that I was going to go for this for like a career, that I was going to make it out of it. Yeah. Tip. Better. So tip first. Okay.
Tip first.
Yeah. Just like a little bit. Trace back. Turn around. No, don't follow me. Hold on.
Sorry.
That's okay. And then once you get to the point of having it turned around, press down more. And then stop. Lift up. Twist it around. And come back. Hey, much better. There we go. That's a much better one.
So I'm not actually going like in a curve. I'm actually going like that twist move.
Yeah.
Not creating like a circle back motion.
No.
Okay, that's what I was trying to do.
It's hard, I know. And I probably did not explain it well. So yeah, you're twisting around to make that curve. Oh, that was terrible. So sorry. Here, let me fix that. Yeah, you're just creating enough of a backwards motion to create that rounded bit. Got it. I know. I'm the host. It's okay. Right. I'm the host. All right.
I actually haven't seen that film.
I have not. All right.
It's a good meme though.
So now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to go top to bottom. And mind you, everything is left to right, top to bottom. Okay. So we're going to go up, twist, and then come back, pull down, lift up a little bit, twist, come back. Okay.
So
I would daub on the corner of your thing first. Yeah, you got a lot of extra ink there. No worries. Yeah, perfect.
So
Ready?
I'm gonna go down for this.
That's okay. So tip up,
Up.
go around. Oop. And you can twist back if you need to. Tip up, twist back. Okay.
So
Mm-hmm. Click up, twist around. So you're still making the same mistake that you did with the first couple of ones, and it's okay. Don't worry about it. We all make mistakes. Okay. So tip, 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 press, tip, tip, tip. Okay.
tip. So
Better, actually. Yeah, that's much better.
okay.
Yeah, it's not perfect, but it's not gonna be. You're just beginning. You know,
Calligraphy savant, I am not.
that's okay. I am also not technically all that knowledgeable because I've only taken it for 30 hours worth of classes, and then I just did some stuff on my own. There you go. That's much better. All right.
Okay.
Ready to do some curve lines? I know, terrifying.
I mean, hey, I did a curve line.
You did. All right. Let's just do some basic easy ones. Ready?
Okay.
All right. Again, you're gonna tip, 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 come back. Oops. And then curve, tip, 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 round it out.
So
And you don't have to twist your brush too much. It's okay. Yeah. Yeah. Good, good, good. Tip. All right, that's not bad. You want to try and keep it one smooth, unbroken line. Right here, you've got a little bit of an L going on. That's
sounds like
okay.
my
Right? I'll take the L. All right, so again, tip, twist a little bit. If you need to, you can twist back. You want just like a very slight curve. A bell curve. Good, press. Okay. That was better. That was better. All right. And it's good enough that I'm happy because we want to move on to the main event, right?
okay.
Oof, my brush was way too wet when I made that. But
It's pretty cool, like it's ghosting effect.
it is a very cool ghosting effect, and that is a legitimate style of calligraphy as well, actually. But not ghost calligraphy. It's a ghost. Man, the 2000s were a weird time.
I always thought that guy was Neil Cicerega.
It's not, but he
He's
had that
not,
same-
but he did have that same energy, didn't he?
Yeah.
Man, I miss Neil Cicerega.
He still makes music.
I know he does. He doesn't make any really videos though.
No.
All right, so we're gonna make
So let me just
wash off your brush.
yeah.
I would wipe it way more than that. There you go.
I'm just trying to be gentle with,
Don't worry about it. These are my shit brushes. Trust me, I didn't hand you any of my good ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
These aren't the Foxfair.
Oh no, they are.
Oh, I thought you said the Foxfair were your good ones.
So the full fox fur are my good ones,
Mm.
but they're a specific style of calligraphy. So, all right. So we're gonna make a FuZi, but we're going to make it more like a cave drawing.
Okay.
Now, I'm gonna give you a couple of different styles to choose from. And I'm gonna make them real messy, not actually calligraphy just yet, because we ain't got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. All right. So we're gonna do this one. Okay, so that's the most similar to the real character. But then we've also got
You don't seem to be spinning your brush as much for this one.
I'm not doing it calligraphy right now.
Okay.
I'm literally just drawing the characters out.
Okay.
Then there's this one. Okay. And then we've got,
That one's just literally a house.
yes, cave drawings. They were originally pictograms.
Hmm.
Then there's this one. And then this one's my favorite. This one's called the double food.
I feel like I should be intimidated by that one. Like just like
Could be
by its meaning. I don't know. Like it seems very like
aggressive.
aggressive.
Yes, 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 yes. So these are some of the options we've got. Okay. Here are some of the options we have. All right. I'm gonna have you choose one.
The second one, I think.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. Easy enough. All right. We're gonna do the second one. And do. All right. We've got our brushes ready. I think it's cramping a little bit. It's been a while. Okay. So we're going to separate our paper. See how it's separated into sections?
Yes.
I'm going to separate it a little bit further. Okay, so now we're going to try and keep it constrained within the boxes. Okay. We want 4 and 4. Okay. 4 squares and 4 squares.
All right, how did you
Just the first 2. That's right here. Perfect. Okay. So this is going to give us an idea of where our character is supposed to go. All right.
and then
Same deal. This one as well. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's just to give you a guideline of like where to cut it off. Okay. Then unfold it. All right. So now we've got one big square, right? I'll be these either. Sorry. It washes it.
I just took a shower, Chloe.
I know. Welcome to calligraphy. Look, is it really calligraphy if your hands don't look like this by the end of it?
This isn't my hand, Chloe.
Your arms too. Trust me, I used to get it all over me. There's a reason why I wear this.
This is white, Chloe.
I know. I'm so sorry. That might actually not come out. It's a good thing it's a sleeve shirt, right?
Yep.
Love you, Connor. This is how you know I love you. I've gotten you covered in ink. All right. So we got to map out where exactly the character is supposed to be in this little section. Okay. So I'm gonna give me just a second to sketch out the character in a smaller box so I know it's free. This one is also a FuZi.
See how that goes.
It's open.
Let that dry and then I'll throw it in the wash.
Yeah, good idea. In the meantime, I was drawing some fancier FuZi.
I can't do that.
No, I'm not going to teach you that either. That takes a lot more time. I mean, you could do it. It won't look perfect. It doesn't have to look perfect. It's not the point. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Is this a shirt you don't mind getting dirty?
Yeah, that's a shirt I can probably wash black out of easier. I don't have that many like
Okay.
I didn't expect you to be going at me like it's like American Psycho, Chloe.
All right. Cool. So here we've got our big box.
Yes.
And if you notice, the lines connect to make a smaller box too. We can use that as our reference point, okay? Because we're going to be making essentially this,
Yes.
and you can use that little middle box to figure out where exactly it's supposed to sit, okay?
Okay.
So if I were to say draw that middle box, you can figure out where the placement is, right? Okay.
So 50-50, yeah, okay.
Basically,
Like a rectangle.
a rectangle. yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so the first stroke, it doesn't have to be perfect, don't worry about it, is going to start at the intersection right here. The tip, come back, press down, come almost to that middle line, lift up, and round off that edge, okay? So start from that intersection, yeah. Come back around. Oh. Remember, tip, press, tip.
Right.
Okay. So I'm going to have you break the cardinal rule. Go over it again. And then press. Better. You're not pressing enough when you get to the next part. Remember, tip, come back, press, and then lift up. Now press, 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 press. There you go. Much better. Okay. Because you want to match the width of this part.
Oh, I was trying to go with a similar width to yours. That's
You don't have to, don't worry about it.
okay.
You can make it thicker. Don't feel like you have to match my thickness. Okay. You can have a nice bold character. All right. Now, this one's pretty much the same area, just out maybe a little bit. So like right here. So we're going to start on the line, come out a little bit. Press, press, press. And we're going to go all the way to that middle line. And come back. No, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Okay. Now this one, great news. Because it intersects with this line, you don't really have to make the rounded part. I'm not going to make you make the rounded part. You can just press and go all the way down to that line and then lift up and come back to round it off. Remember, press. Too much tip. There you go. That's not bad. I like that. All right, now, again, we don't have to worry about the rounded bit because it's intersecting a line.
And is this more of a curve?
Yep.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be a big curve. Very slight, gentle curve. Okay. Yeah, that's good. And then we're going to do the same on the other side.
It's a little messier.
Don't worry about it. And I like mine to be thick boys on the end. All right. So now we've got this part of the character. Now we're going to work on this part of the character. Okay.
Okay.
I'm just going to fix my tip real quick. There we go. Yeah, your tip looks good.
Okay.
All right. Now, next part. We're going to start just a little bit to the right of that middle line. Okay. And we're going to go a little bit higher. Okay. We're going to go across just past the edge of that middle line right there. Okay. Yeah, not bad. I want you to go over it again real quick and put more pressure at the beginning of it. Okay. So you round it out and then press down. There you go. That's better. Good.
Okay.
Okay. Now the next part. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
We can do it one of two ways. We could make it with 4 strokes or 1. Remember how I had you make circles?
Yes.
We can either make it as a square that's 1 stroke, as if we were making a circle,
Okay.
or we could make it with 4 individual strokes.
I kind of want to learn how to make the 1 stroke.
I thought so. Okay. Good news. You don't have to round off the first part.
Okay.
Okay. You ready? So start about the same area that you started before, but a little bit so that like this is sandwiched between the two.
Like that.
Yep. Okay. So now you're going to press down, go all the way to the edge where that first stroke is. Lift up a little bit because you're going to twist your brush so that it's now facing the direction you're traveling. Don't go all the way down yet. Oop, well, you're going to have a big box. That's okay. Because we're going to stop so that it's basically sandwiching right in between. And again, twist your brush so that the bristles are facing the place you're traveling. Okay. Not bad. You went up a little bit too light here.
I see that, yeah.
So I'm gonna have you start from here again. Twist your brush so that it's facing that direction and press down further. Lift up a little bit, twist, press down. Better,
Okay.
much better, okay? Now, this box should be so that this part is in the middle of it,
Okay.
okay? Yours is fine, honestly. It's a little too far down, but not enough that it will be super unbalanced. So,
Okay.
especially since you're doing thicker lines. So, the brush, okay? I would fix the tip of it. There you go. That's better. Okay, now, last part. Now again, you do it as 4 strokes or 1.
But the last part has that square, that cross in the middle.
We do that as a separate part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then 1 stroke.
1 stroke, okay. So, again, this time you're gonna start on the line and a little bit underneath your box, okay? And you're gonna go all the way just past that middle line. Okay. Lift up a little bit. Twist your brush. You're good. Okay. That's not bad. Your joints could use a little bit of work, but overall not bad. Okay. So start from here.
From here?
Yep. Okay. Now lift up a little bit, but not a lot. Yeah. Now press again. Better. All right. Now we're going to fix our brush real quick. And when you get better at it, you'll learn how to do it in such a way that you don't have to keep fixing your brush constantly. Like it'll come naturally. If we're making the strokes perfectly, then your brush won't look like that.
Okay.
So now for this part, we don't have to worry about the rounding out because we're starting from this part. We're going to do across first. We always go left to right first and then up to down.
Was there some reasoning behind that?
Nope, just stroke order. Not bad. Twist your brush. Then you can go back from the top. There you go. Guess what? You've made your first character. And it's not bad. The only part that I think you really could improve on is this part. And that's normal. So I think you did great.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Now, ready to put it on paper?
Okay.
Yeah. What was that gas? That was strange. Were you that excited? All right. Where'd you put the? Ah, there it is. Okay. And here's the fun part, the fancy bit. Okay. You ready? What time is it anyway? It is. Oh, it's been an hour. Well, it's a good thing that I started late. Okay. Now, one problem with this paper is there's no grid. We're gonna make our own grid. Don't worry, I'm not gonna do that to you, Con. All right, now we place our paper like this. It's a diamond. Yeah, you can set it off to the side. Put it on the cap. I don't mean actually put it on the cat. All right. Don't worry about it. Okay, so we've got our diamonds.
Okay.
All right. Now we can fold it in half and in half. Doesn't have to be perfect, especially since I'm pretty sure this paper is not entirely square. Okay. Our diamond has a cross on it. Okay. So now,
Okay.
to make our square, we fold the corners into the middle of that cross.
It's almost like making a fortune teller.
Yep. So this will give us the square that we need to work with. And don't worry about the creases showing on your door and everything. You can just put a book on top of it at some point and just flatten them out. So now we have a square within our diamond. Easy enough, right? Good. Lovely. All right. Now we want to make sure we get off as much of the excess ink as we can. You can use your spare practice paper for it, yeah. But you still want to get enough on your brush to do the character, you know. Not bad. All right, you ready?
I think so.
Now, we're gonna imagine extra lines within this.
Okay.
Okay. I don't think we need to do another fold unless we absolutely have to, but. So imagine that there's a smaller square within this. It's okay to go outside that square a little bit, but we don't want to go past this square.
Okay.
Okay. Now, the first part, we're going to do this part of the character. Ready?
So I'd say we're about here, right?
We're going to start around the dragon's foot.
Oh, that's it. Oh,
Yep, the dragon's foot over here. Okay. So this top foot over here. And we're going to do our line. Right. And it goes almost to that middle section. Okay. Yeah. Good. Okay. Now, the next line. We're going to start probably around the dragon's spine,
okay.
just under it. Okay. And we're going to go again almost to that middle bit, but not all the way. I'm going to have you go all the way to the middle bit because of where you started. Okay. So you've got two parallel lines. They should be roughly the same size and shape. The top one should be just a little bit smaller. Yours is a bit more than a little bit smaller, but it's okay because it's balanced.
Okay.
Okay. So if it is drastically smaller than the other one, just balance it out in how much on each side.
Okay.
Okay. Now, the next part. We're going to take this and go all the way to about where the stomach intersects the foot. So to here.
Okay.
Okay. For you, I'm going to have you start in the middle, which is about here. And you're, yep. All right. You're going to stop about here. Okay. Go over this real quick because the fold created a break, which is fine, but I don't like it.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. Thicken up your line a little bit at the top. There you go. Much better. All right. Now, we're going to make our curved lines, and we're going to go to just under that middle section, okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to have you stop probably about here and here, okay?
Okay.
And you can start either from that intersection or you can start a little bit further in. Yeah.
It's a little wonky there at the bottom, but
No, that's all right. Not enough to be an issue. Okay. So now we've got the left-hand side of our FuZi.
what's again?
FuZi just means word. Yeah. So when you're talking about like the character itself, you just add on word typically. Okay. Good. Now we're gonna make the top bar of our right hand portion of it. Okay.
Okay.
I would say start
And about here?
about here. Right there. Yep. Okay. So we're gonna try and make it so that that top bar on the left hand portion of it is in the middle between the two. Make it nice and long, you know. I would say stop around the tail area. Perfect. Just be careful how much you swoop on that last bit. You're starting to get into a different style of calligraphy.
Okay.
Okay. But seriously, I'm proud of you. That looks great.
Thank you.
All right. Now, for the box, also known as the mouth, because it's one mouth rice patty. Don't know why, just know that it is. Okay. So we're going to start the box in between these two.
Okay.
Okay. And you can come a little closer to that middle line for that. So you want it to be a little bit more like the other one, and come out a little bit further than that top bar. And down only a little bit. And now turn. We press down. Not bad. Again, careful on that last bit of the stroke.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm not real happy with how mine came out either, so don't feel bad. Should be a lot thicker. There we go. All right, much better. All right. Last bit. You ready?
Yeah. I think so.
All right. Now, we're going to start, I would say on the middle line for you. Yeah. But we're going to have you start about here. Okay. Maybe a little bit lower. That's okay. Okay.
Lower? Like here?
Yeah. There you go. All right. So you're going to make another box. Just a nice big one this time, real long, and come out to the same width as your rectangle. Normally I would say come out further, but because of how you've drawn your character, we're going to balance it. Okay. And come pretty much to there, yeah, and then turn. Now, don't worry about this part being too thick because this part is supposed to be the thickest part of the character. So I will go over it one more time. Should have reinked my brush. I'm getting a dry character. Okay. There you go. Don't go too fast when you pull up on that last part.
That's how I get the flex.
That's how you get the flicks. Yep. I know. I made the same mistake like a billion times. All right. Now remember, we do the horizontal first. Make it in the middle. Yeah. And then vertical. Okay. There you go. Guess what? You did it. High five. So this is roughly what it should look like. And this is how his came out. Which is pretty good. I'm really proud of you, dude.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And that concludes our tutorial. I'm going to do one more real quick in my preferred style. Just for giggles. All right. Let me get my brush nice and wet for this one though. In fact, let me put a little water too. Okay. All right. Here we go. This is my preferred style. That's it. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.